Mr. Chair, we can get started when you're ready. Thank you.
Okay, hi everybody. This meeting is now called to order at 5:34 p.m. I think the clock says 5:37 p.m. though. And Madam Secretary, can you please call roll?
Certainly. Chairperson David Heredia,
Present.
and you'll be joining remotely under Just Cause and confirming that no one over the age of 18 is present with you.
Correct.
Thank you. Commissioner Hugo Alvarado,
Present.
Commissioner Jason Gavilanes,
Present.
Commissioner Raul Velasco is not here today. Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Niguez, can you lead us in the invocation, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Please bow your heads in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we are thankful for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We are grateful for the citizens who are interested in our city and who bring matters before the Traffic and Safety Commission's attention. We ask that you be with the commissioners as they deliberate these matters and make their decisions. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, and Commissioner Gavilanes, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Madam Secretary, was the agenda posted according to state law?
It was posted according to law, yes.
Thank you. Okay, this is the time given to the public to speak on agenda and non-agenda items.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have one member in the public, Mark A., that is speaking regarding a non-agenda item AB 413.
Hi, good afternoon, commissioners and city staff. My name is Mark. I live on Gallant Street between Garfield and Ramish. As many of you know or may not know, this year, Governor Gavin Newsom signed AB 413. And it is it amended California Vehicle Code. So, and it pertains to vehicles parked at a marked or unmarked crosswalk. And so now the law has changed, and this year is kind of a no violations are being given, but warnings are being given out. I haven't noticed any of that movement in my neighborhood about red curbs. Red curbs have to be painted or should be painted 15 or 20 feet, depending. And that would help me a lot, especially turning right from Garfield, from Gallant, making a right north on Garfield, or on Ramish, making a right onto Clara. Those vehicles belong to auto body shops that, you know, often change paper plates. It is my belief that they are not, they are illegal to park in the state. And so they've been parked there for years. It's not months, it's years. So I just wanted to come before I go to city council and the city manager's office. I wanted to come before you guys because you guys are traffic and safety and see what it is, what you guys, commissioners or public works, are doing relating to AB 413. That was it. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment. And if we have any comments or other questions from Public Works or Mr. Niguez or Mr. Banash.
Go ahead, Doug, if you want to address the.
In all honesty, I'll have to review on this one and come back with a response to the commission in a month.
But to the speaker, obviously he has a concern that's affecting him. So either way, we'll get his information and possibly bring an item forward if one is elicited.
No problem.
Okay, thank you once again for coming in and giving us your comment on that. We did note it down and we do have it recorded here. And just like Mr. Anigos and Banash said, we'll have to look into it and it'll become an item on the agenda, just like the other items on today's agenda, so that we can go ahead and discuss it further and look into any additional things that can be done, like the red curb that you mentioned, so that you can have more visibility, I believe, for your turns was the main concern onto Garfield and onto Ramesh. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Okay, and were any other comments received?
No other comments.
I got-
Okay, we have another speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Armando. I came here about maybe 3 months ago to speak on the commercial vehicles traveling on Eastern Avenue between Gage and Florence, which is a posted, very well-known posted area that no commercial vehicles should travel on there. I haven't had a chance to return to one of these meetings. And I know it's been maybe about 3-4 months, so it'd be unfair for me to ask what has been done or what hasn't been done. But I think now, just kind of bringing it into light again. It's, for what I have seen, I live on that side of town. I haven't seen any changes as far as maybe police activity, as well as maybe the volume that trucks that go by. If you guys are familiar with the city, you're supposed to go down Garfield. That's where you see the most commercial vehicles, down Garfield, Gage, and Florence. But you're not supposed to go down Eastern. There's a lot of families going down to the shopping center and etc. But besides that, I also would like to just read a statement I have. I strongly oppose the unauthorized use of local streets by commercial trucks. These heavy vehicles pose significant safety risks to pedestrians, cyclists, and other drivers, as they are not designated to navigate residential or restricted streets. The increased noise and pollution from these trucks also contribute to a decline in the quality of life for our residents. Moreover, the wear and tear on our infrastructure, including roads and bridges, accelerates the need for costly repairs funded by our taxpayer dollars. We urge local authorities to enforce existing regulations and consider implementing stricter penalties for violations to protect our communities, ensure public safety, and preserve our environment. Our neighborhoods should remain safe, peaceful, and well-maintained places where families can thrive without the constant threat of unauthorized vehicles with heavy vehicle traffic. With that being said, I would like to return maybe to the next meeting next month or in 2 months, just to allow you guys some time just to get some sort of feedback on, on maybe something that could be done on your guys' end. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you for your comments, sir. And yes, I do remember that from a few months ago. Actually, I think that same week, my wife and I noticed it as we were exiting the 710 freeway, Florence, then turning left onto Eastern, that, yeah, there was definitely a truck that turned. On other occasions, I've seen trucks take Florence, and I'm guessing they're using the proper route. But I remember last time you also mentioned that it's done throughout multiple, throughout the day. There's no like one specific time that they're doing it, but just kind of throughout the whole day. Which I don't know if that makes it more difficult for maybe law enforcement to kind of like go out there since they don't have a specific time. And I'm not sure if they were only going out there at certain times, maybe not making big enough impact maybe. So we'll take that into consideration and see, hopefully maybe we can like do different times throughout the day. And I'm not sure if it's a thing about signage or if there's like a community of truck drivers that communicate with each other, maybe to pass along a message that, like to make sure they're using the proper routes. I'm not sure if there's a community that does anything like that.
We'll look into that to see whether there's that type of community. Now, I do recall from the gentleman coming the last time, we did notify the police department. So we can also follow up to see exactly what was done, whether they issued any citations, for example, and let them know that the problem it's still there. And what can we do to enhance whatever was attempted the first time to enhance it in that way, that as the gentleman said, the next time he comes back, we have a lot more information to share.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll definitely revisit this, and hopefully we'll have some good updates. Okay, and I believe there were no other comments received. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go on to the next item on the agenda. I need a motion from a commissioner on approving the minutes of August 6, 2024,
First motion.
and a second.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, and Madam Secretary, can you please take roll call vote?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, but Hugo Alvarado was not present at that meeting, so you're not allowed to vote. So we'll carry that item forward to the next commission meeting when Mr. Commissioner Velasco is present.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank
Okay. We'll go on to the next item, which is also an approval of minutes. I'm not sure we have the commissioner able to approve on this one. This is from the August 15th, 2024. Okay, and I need a motion from a commissioner to approve,
First approval.
and a second.
I'll second this one.
Thank you. And Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote?
Certainly. Commissioner Alvarado,
Yes.
Commissioner Gavilanes,
Yes.
and Mr. Chair Heredia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next item on the agenda is the traffic safety analysis. And Mr. Iniguez, can you please give the report?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Item number 3 is regarding a request for a disabled person parking space fronting 5843 Fostoria Street. It is staff's recommendation that the Traffic and Safety Commission approve for City Council consideration the installation of a designated disabled person parking space fronting 5843 Fostoria Street. I'll go ahead and have the city engineer provide the full report. Doug?
Thank you and good evening. We received a request from a resident at 5843 Fostoria for installing a disabled parking space for the caretaker at this residence. Exhibit 1 shows a brief description of the general site conditions. There is a city policy in place that we investigate and evaluate on a case-by-case basis. The site the site has inadequate on-site parking to accommodate or facilitate on-site entry and exit of a large vehicle that the applicant uses to carry the disabled person's wheelchair, bike, and walker when he goes out and about. And there are no current rental arrangements for the large vehicles with the landlord. 5843 Fostoria is a local residential street with a prima facie speed limit of 25 miles an hour. Street is primarily of single-family homes with a majority of multifamily dwelling units on both sides of the street. The resident is requesting an installation of an on-street parking space of blue curb for the disabled person. And as required by the city's policy, the vehicle in question utilizing the disabled person placard issued by the state of California is to be registered to the resident along with the vehicle to be addressed to the address and the address of the property. The resident indicated that the vehicle they use must park on the street. Staff does recommend the installation of the disabled parking space based on in compliance with the policy. However, it must be noted that once the blue curb is painted, anybody with a valid disabled placard issued by the state can park in that space. With that, I'll answer any questions.
Okay, do we have any questions or comments from commissioners?
No questions.
Okay, I need a motion from the commissioner to go ahead and approve the blue curb and signage.
First approval.
Okay, and a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. And Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote?
Certainly, Commissioner Alvarado,
Yes.
Commissioner Gavilanes,
Yes.
and Mr. Chair Heredia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next item on the agenda, traffic safety analysis. Mr. Inigos, can you give the report, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Item number 4 is regarding a request for red curb parking restrictions fronting 6808 Ira Avenue. It is staff's recommendation that the Traffic and Safety Commission approve for city council consideration the installation of 5 feet of red curb parking restrictions along both sides of the driveway at 6808 Ira Avenue. I'll go ahead and have City Engineer Doug Benash provide the full report.
Thank you and good evening again. We did receive a request regarding a large vehicle with trailer parking on the southerly of the driveway at 6808 Ira Avenue. The vehicle occupied the space between 2 driveways. And we address these on a case-by-case basis. And we evaluate the safety concerns and how to maximize parking in the residential neighborhoods. As we know, the city of Bell Gardens is very short on-street parking, so that's always in the back of our minds. We completed a site investigation, and basically the area is primarily single-family homes with 2 or 3 on a lot configurations. The resident is concerned when exiting the driveway with a large vehicle, when a large vehicle is parked there, it obstructs the sight lines for oncoming traffic. Generally, Ira Avenue is a local residential street with a prima facie speed of 25 miles per hour. And there's about 35 feet between curb and curb. We looked at the request to they wanted to install red curb from the driveway, from one driveway to the other. But based on the parking shortage in the neighborhood, we feel that for the long-term viability of parking, we do not want to restrict parking, but make it more difficult to park larger vehicles, because if not, that large vehicle would probably find someplace else in the neighborhood to park. That's how human nature is. Therefore, to improve site conditions from exiting the driveway, it's our recommendation that we install 5 feet of red curb on both sides of the driveway in order to mitigate that, and it shortens the length to 30 feet versus 35 feet, and maybe discourage the parking of a large vehicle there. And with that, I'll entertain any questions.
No, I don't think I have any questions. So it looks like they were initially requested 35 feet basically to block out the whole parking in front of their home, but what we're proposing is to just kind of do the tips of the driveway in order for them to be able to kind of get in and out and have some better site visibility. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, if there's no questions or comments on this, then I'll need a motion from the commission to approve staff's recommendation of going ahead and putting those 5 feet of red curb tips on each side of the driveway.
My first motion.
Okay, and I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, and Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote, please?
Certainly. Commissioner Alvarado,
Yes.
Commissioner Gavilanes,
Yes.
and Mr. Chair Heredia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and do we have any comments from staff?
Yes, Mr. Chair, just an update. We're continuing with the citywide restriping. That's being done with our crews. And then we also have a contractor that the city has contracted with to repaint the bike lane sharrows. So that's scheduled to start tomorrow, and they'll be restriping all the citywide sharrows. We anticipate Sterndal is the name of the contractor, that they will be finished by hopefully the end of this month. And that concludes staff's update.
Okay, sounds good. And just had a kind of a thought pop into my head. Do we have as far as like any like public works like social media, is that usually just posted on like the Bell Garden City Instagram, or is it posted elsewhere?
Typically on the city's main social media portals.
Okay, great. Yeah, I know sometimes I come across some of that. It's really awesome to see like the updates, especially like the fresh striping always looks really nice. If we can like get a post on that, that way at least the community knows what, what's being updated, and it'll also maybe spark them to come in, just like we have, the two gentlemen come in today and, have some comments and some ideas on things that we can get done. Okay, and do we have any comments from commissioners?
No comment here.
Just happy to see everybody here and just hearing all the upgrades and new ideas and just things, little changes, big changes, and just happy to see all these changes that are going on in the city.
All right, thank you, Jason. Okay, and if there are no further comments, then we can go ahead and adjourn. And I will now adjourn this meeting to the next scheduled meeting, I believe, first Tuesday of October, which is the 1st, October 1st, 2024. And this meeting is now closed at 5:59 p.m. All right, thank you, everybody.